Benchwarmers, we are back in the studio finally after an amazing weekend. And honestly, I shared this opinion with Alexis, and he mentioned this too. In one of the photos they put up. Baltimore is a pretty weird city, man.
Yeah.
It's a great place. It seems really cool, but it's just something about it. It's just kind of off, man. I was telling Marco and Ricky, and I mentioned it already in some of the highlight reel that we're gonna put up. It just feels like some areas feel like a movie set, man. Like I'm so used to tall buildings covering the sky. It's like you just see like these little restaurants and stuff, and then that's it. There's nothing else behind.
It's all like cookie cutter,
Yeah.
and it feels like if you go around the corner, all you're gonna see is a wall with like wood just holding it up.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like if you see like any movie out there, you see like they do like small towns. Legit, just looks like that.
Really?
It's nice. Don't get me wrong. I liked it, but
Yeah?
it feels like
Baltimore?
around the corner, the area that we were at. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, apparently, for all you locals out there, if there's anyone listening to us that is from Baltimore, they call it small Timor because everything's just very condensed and
wow.
on top of each other.
Sure.
But it seems like a pretty cool scene.
Popular city, I figured it'd be more, like you said, skyscrapers and.
I mean, in a certain area
skylines.
there is. I don't want to sound
Where the
ignorant
convention
either,
was, yeah, it was
but
like
where
more
we were,
city-ish.
I think that was called like Fells Point. That's what Ricky said. So we were around that area. But thankfully, we are back to your normal programming, back
Welcome
to
back,
our
guys.
boys. Welcome back.
regular scheduling. We have some goodies for you guys in the studio too. Eric he's itching. He's itching to use those cards, man. We brought Eric back a pair of yellow and red cards.
They
used by
belong to
Pro.
me. They belong to me. I think it was destined to come into my hands at one point.
Well, in the studio
Why?
tonight, before we get too ahead of anything, because we've got a lot of stuff to cover with you guys. My name's Diego. I'm joined in the studio. Are you still the instigator?
I don't know.
No, he is,
Apparently,
he is,
I'm
he
the
is.
instigator, but I don't know. I feel like I don't instigate.
Well, then
Mhm.
I'm joined
I'll be the
together
judge.
with Erik the judge / instigator, and Marco the interrupter. But he's been pretty good about interrupting so far.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he has.
Mhm.
I think it has. We are missing Ricky, and we are missing Edgar. Edgar is
Eddie.
out celebrating his 2-0 win because apparently Liverpool have won the league in January. I don't know how that happens or how that works, but just to remind you guys where you can listen to us, Marco, where can they find all of our podcast episodes?
They can listen to us on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and Stitcher by searching Benchwarmers FC.
Man, that's nice.
It sounded like you had that scripted already.
I do it right here and right there. Look, kidding.
Oh, I actually looked. Got me. And you guys want to give us a follow, which we have been getting a lot on Instagram lately. So thank you for the support on that platform and Twitter, Facebook, Benchwarmers FC1.
And if you want to watch us, you can watch us on YouTube at Benchwarmers FC TV. And as of officially with Eric's first live stream,
Oh.
you can watch us on Mixer.
On
at
Mixer.
Benchwarmers FC Live.
Let's go.
Of course, and Eric's at Estrada 92.
Well, now that I know we have a Mixer account, I'm going to use the Benchwarmers Mixer account. So I'll be going through there.
We are hopefully going to be bringing a lot more of those live match reactions, which was actually pretty interesting to see Edgar cringing. And
When Martial got in, did
he
you
was-
see?
bro?
It's nice to see, but not have to be there for it.
Right, exactly.
So I enjoyed watching it on my phone,
Mhm.
but I knew that I wasn't there, so I didn't have to feel what Eric was feeling at the moment when Edgar does
Just
it
the amount of cringe on
exaggerating.
Edgar's face, bro.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad, honestly. I was more focused on the laptop and everything going on there, so I kind of ignored him for the most part. So it was kind of a win-win.
Well, just a side note, also as a reminder, if you want to write to us, our email is benched@benchwarmersfc.com. And like always, we invite you guys to participate, leave a like, comment, follow, subscribe, hit the notification bell because we want to hear from listeners and fans like yourselves. That being said, we're going to hit the whistle now for kickoff. Eric, do us the honors. Bro, you're getting a lot better at that, man.
Thank you. I just want to give a card out to somebody already.
So
That's why you're my quiet.
the tactic here with the cards is, if you say something that shouldn't have been said, something that's really wild and off the walls, you're gonna get red carded.
Kind of have to like.
And if
wanna make
you're
bets
getting a
and
little
make sure that Marco is the one that's gonna get one. Eric hates him, so
and if
Just
you're
saying.
getting a little heated up, you need to cool down a little bit. We got the yellow card also as a caution, so that's gonna be fun and interesting. I know Eric's gonna love doing that to
I'm
us.
gonna call Eric Barr, and I'm every other team except for Liverpool. I'm gonna get all the cards,
Kind of,
but I'm not Liverpool, so I'm not gonna be benefited by it. So
Yo, yeah,
just
yeah,
saying it.
yeah. Because apparently, when the rules are correct, and then all of a sudden it doesn't benefit your team, as Edgar was saying. But
Just make sure you say the right things, Marco.
I do have something here. I got one of the last masks. I put BMORE on this one for Baltimore 2020. We have a tag here, so if you want to put this one up,
Yeah, sure.
I'm not sure if maybe Erik is better poised for that. Usually on these episodes, I've been wearing a mask, but as of this weekend, it looks like I may not need to be wearing them as often, so it's going to be nice.
It's awesome, man.
It's nice to breathe a little bit better. That fits well, man.
It's actually nice to hear your voice and not hear that.
Like the muffle.
Luke, I am your father.
Well, we had a lot of things going on. If you're watching us on YouTube, anyway, in the studio we have one of our first official Teqballs in the studio. So
Yeah.
shout out to them.
Thank you, Teqball.
I do
Word
want
up.
to do all of like the proper things later in the episode when we talk about the United Soccer Coaches Convention. But since we did hit the kickoff whistle, there's a lot that happened.
Good thing
And-
I wasn't asking about that, so good thing you said that. So now I'll save my questions for the end.
Okay, great. Now we're gonna we're gonna jump right into the EPL review because, like Edgar was probably celebrating second, third, fourth, and fifth all drop points. We had the only team that won was Wolves in probably what was the best game of the weekend. Honestly, a 3-2 comeback after being down 2-0. But we're gonna start really quickly. Watford Spurs 0-0. You had a penalty save on Troy Deeney. I really believe that Spurs should have probably lost that game. And then you had a goal line clearance from Erik Lamela at the end.
Which is what, less than a centimeter?
Yeah, it was really close.
But see, I'm not gonna take it to the goal line decision because that's goal line technology. That's what it's there for. I've always supported that technology in the game. It's been around for I don't even know how long, maybe 6-7 years now. My question is, Mourinho, what are you doing with that Spurs squad?
Yeah, man. I don't know.
This is-
Harry Kane out. It looks like the problems are a lot deeper than that because you know what? On fantasy, at least on the forums, a lot of people were shouting out that Tanganga guy,
Yeah.
the makeshift, I think was left back or right
Mhm.
back. I'm
I
not
think-
sure.
Yeah, right back.
But he's a fullback anyway. He gets yellow carded almost immediately because he can't keep up with Watford. I think it was Delafeu that ran at him or something like that. I could be wrong.
Delafeu-
With
pretty
all
fast guy.
due respect, he is pacey and he does have a couple of
Mhm.
tricks under his belt.
But yeah, what is he doing with that team?
I don't know, man. And I think this kind of goes back to what Edgar and I were kind of just saying the other day is he's just washed. His tactics are completely outdated. His antics of putting the media attention on himself has came back again,
Mhm.
and it's not in any way showing the benefits for Spurs. This is weird because last year when you saw Harry Kane go out, Humane's son stepped up. Spurs looked
Yeah, he
looked
Look
good.
at Moda.
Son was Sonaldo for like a good 4 to 5 weeks, and he was carrying that team. And now, once he came back from suspension, people are like, "Oh, I'm gonna get Son. He'll be a differential in fantasy." And I use fantasy as kind of like the how to gauge players and their form. He just hasn't responded.
He hasn't.
He really hasn't.
But you also have to consider the tactics from last year to this year are completely different. A more passing and tiki-taka type coach leaves and a park the bus, let's make these long runs kind of coach comes in. Son, as good as he is, this might not be the way the perfect football style for him.
So at the end of the day, it just falls on Mourinho's head.
I think Mourinho didn't use his time off the right way.
I'm not talking about Mourinho as in him using his right time off. I'm thinking about Spurs getting the right manager for the position.
Oh no,
They jumped the gun.
which is
Yeah,
funny.
we were all questioning that when
They
that was
jumped
announced
the
and
gun.
how quick it was announced. We're like, bro, that just feels off. That feels really weird. And switching the conversation over to Watford because we have to give them some credit. I actually stand corrected. It was Ismail Assar, Mane's Senegalese partner, that got past Tanganga and he pulled him back. That's where he got the yellow. Sar, Dini, even Delufeu, like you said, they've been looking completely changed versions of themselves. And ever since Nigel Pearson came into Watford, their home form has been absolutely, I would even say, amazing by the standards of the beginning of the season. They just look like a completely different team, which is annoying to have Watford be at least decent.
Yeah.
because then now you can't count on having like
Those
that
3
those
points.
3 points, like
Yeah.
that easy fixture. No disrespect to them, but that easy fixture to pick up those points. But I think that really says all of it, because at the end that was 0-0. It was drop points for Spurs, which they really didn't need to do, especially in the position that they're in on the table. But moving forward, we got Arsenal and Sheffield, and Martinelli. He put them up right before halftime, right?
Yeah, great. Yeah.
And
So
then
good.
I
So
think
good.
there was a controversial call in that game, which I had to watch afterwards, and I'll let you get your your whippings in a little bit. But then afterward, holding it down for the last 10 minutes, and we'll do it, one step at a time. It just like watching it with some other fans on TV at the convention. They were just like they threw their hands up, and then they just sat there, because they're like, again we have to settle for less than what we deserve. So what do you think with that performance?
I think the way you ended it, we set up for less than we deserved. We deserved those 3 points.
Mhm.
Yes, Martinelli started off the game amazing with missing a Aubameyang. We needed somebody to step it up. Hoping to be Lacazette, but he's not been, in his best form recently. Just be honest.
And that's
He's
wild,
missing.
yeah.
He's missing right now. He's missing fire. But Martinelli, man, he's doing the work. And Pepe is also bringing the pressure on. He's creating space. He's making the passes. He should have been given a penalty. I still have no idea how that wasn't given a penalty. I've been usually when you go to comments and
Yeah.
on Instagram, you see the honest opinion of every fan. There were people that were United fans, Chelsea fans, like this. And I'm not an Arsenal fan. I'm so and so fan. This is dumb. And the fact that they're saying that, I'm like, all right, this is upsetting, because this is what BMORE is supposed to be fixing.
Right. They're supposed to be catching calls like that are like just gone unnoticed.
Exactly, and supposedly with the BMORE, we don't know what the communication with that was said. Maybe they said no, and they might be just decided to say no, it's not a penalty. But the fact that again the goal became of a deflection off of Niles this time, and all credit to Fleck because he hit the ball perfectly.
Yeah,
He
he
struck
hit
it
it
down
nice.
on the ground,
Yeah.
beautiful volley.
Kept it down.
It was a great strike, but it's just those defensive, I guess,
Lapses?
it just happened. And I want to take it from Arsenal for a second and kind of focus on Sheffield, because this team, man,
They just don't want to go away. They really don't.
talking about, there was a conversation recently that I heard that English managers are kind of non-existent at the moment.
Mm.
I think, what's his name again?
For
Sheffield. Craig something? No?
Yes.
Well, I think get his name, but he's been making a name for himself, and I don't know
Not
how.
Chris Wilder.
Well, there you go.
Not correct. Chris Wilder.
So I don't think Sheffield are gonna again finish the season the way they are right now. Although I did expect them to drop off a bit after the halftime, but they haven't at all. They've been going at it. They put the pressure on no matter who it is. They go out there and play.
Top 10 with no problem.
That's no problem.
Yeah.
Next season, Chris Wilder has to get a contract with the bigger club, or within the next couple of years.
You see him moving?
I see him moving. Yeah. Yeah. It's just
That's
what he's
amazing.
done with this squad, and for the
Newly
length of the
promoted.
season. Newly
Yeah.
promoted Sheffield. A Lundstrom was a defender playing, I think, a cam role.
Yeah, in this game, yeah, he's playing Cam almost.
It's and Fleck. I mean, you said these players like they look world class under him,
They
man.
look good,
It's
yeah.
the way he's using them, and I have to give credit to Sheffield United, man. They are honestly my second favorite team in the league right now. I enjoy watching them play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people do.
I think they're the breakouts team of the
The
season.
way they break down teams is kind of incredible. They look like, I don't say a poor man's version, but a poor man's version of Man City. They just
Almost.
kind of like tic tac around you, and then Mousse or Fleck just getting behind, just get that banger. So
Marco, what do you think, man? This is supposed to be your team too, bro. I remember you were right next to me, like when the goal went in, and you're like, of course, Maitland Niles again, and you're just like dismayed, like you didn't even want to say anything. Almost.
It was look, we were talking about it with Erik at the beginning before we start recording, and we mentioned that Niles has been picking up and he's been doing a lot better, and it kind of feels like he's willing to take the role of a right back, and letting aside his ideas of he wanted to be a midfielder or a right wing. I'm cool with that, but he has to pick up his game more than
Yeah.
what he has already, and it seems like Bellerin is good to continue playing,
Mhm.
but Arteta for some reason has decided to continue going with Niles,
Yeah.
which we already discussed. So if this is the case, then I think now is at least defensively has to pick up a little bit more. And knowing that he was the reason why it was off the deflection off of him still makes me think that he's still not there yet.
Don't
But-
don't. I don't want people to like blame him for that. Though.
No,
It's
no,
a
no.
deflection
To
at the
make
end
him
of
like
the
a
day.
scapegoat. Yeah,
It's
you
a
can't
It's
really
deflection
control
today.
that.
He
but-
shut down Zaha, who was the biggest threat for Crystal Palace. And where did the goal come from? The other side of the pitch.
No, every
So-
single player in the back four I think has given away a goal on deflection.
Correct.
So
But
I'm not
that's why I
blaming him
don't-
for it.
Yeah,
I would if anything I'll blame all four for not stopping
Closing
that
it
person.
down.
Yeah.
yeah. I respect that. I respect that.
Well, it's another Arsenal draw. Again,
Another.
Arteta, he's really
3-1
really,
and 1 I think we are right now.
He's bleeding for a win right
3-1-1.
now.
Yeah, and I think these past couple of all these 5 games already since he has under his
6
belt.
games, yeah.
I think this is a clear example, as in this problem is not going to be fixed overnight. You have the rest of the season to find out what's going on, and then the transfer window, because it looks like we're not getting anybody this transfer window, maybe next one, but it's not a promise to be fixed this season. So again, I'll thrown in. I'm gonna keep supporting you, and then next year we'll see what happens.
Moving to seeing what happens, because this game actually got really wild in like the last 10 minutes. City against Crystal Palace. Ever since Crystal Palace got like that wonder goal, and I think maybe even like a season before that, they've been like a thorn in City's side. And I remember saying that here on the show too. They just didn't want to give up, and they're up 1-0. Aguero gets the double. Zaha cuts in at the end, gets a Fernandinho own goal, and it's like, what are City doing? I don't want to jump the gun, because we're gonna just mention, maybe I'll mention it right now, the fact that Leicester City also lost to Burnley. It's like these are the two teams that should be giving hope to the rest of us, and I'll get to United afterwards. But after Leicester City losing, and you're seeing Man City not capable of holding this 2-1 lead for 5 minutes, a lot of people have been said that Fernandinho is the weak point, but what's going on with City now too, man?
Yeah, you're right.
It's like
That's definitely
it's not working.
the fact. I mean, the blame is easy to put on Fernandinho because we know he's a makeshift center back. We know
Right,
that. So it's easy to make him the scapegoat, but obviously the best defense starts from up top. So how is it that Crystal Palace are getting from not only past Aguero, past the midfielder, but now past the defensive line, and getting an own goal scored on Pep's birthday?
Happy birthday, Pep.
Happy birthday, Pep. Jeez.
Happy birthday, Pep. For real. I mean, I don't know. I think this Man City squad has ran out of fumes, ran its course. I think they've accomplished the most they can last
So
season.
you're saying this is his ceiling, like this
I
is
think-
Pep's ceiling.
Yeah.
Last season was their ceiling. when
Right,
they-
right.
yeah. Centurion, whatever it's called.
Centurions,
But yeah, last year was that was it. They did what they could, and honestly, man, with these results, if they continue this way, and if Liverpool continue the way that they're looking, I can see Pep maybe one more year in City and then being out.
I call it already. This is gonna be
I
his
think
last year.
he's gonna be out after this.
You think this is last
man.
Oh
season?
yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's here and maybe go
How
to
do-
Brazil or Spain to coach for the national team.
That's why I hate he's the best coach in the world because he hasn't won a Champions League with anybody
No.
else besides Barcelona, man.
no.
But
And I
whatever,
think
that's a different conversation.
we've always had that conversation, and you've always brought that up, and I think most of us agree. He's a really, really good coach. It's just that he has that
It's a good
deadline.
not a tournament
Or-
coach kind of
but
thing.
and it's 3 years.
Yeah.
He did it with Barcelona. That was it. Then Bayern 3 years out. Man City is third year.
Out.
Time to
But
go.
it's such a talented squad. How can you not accomplish more than? I mean, I'm not gonna take anything away from what he's done.
Yeah,
at City.
we can't
You
say
can't
that.
take
we
that
can't
away.
say that like winning the league,
Is
the
no.
most out of all of the 20 teams in the last 5 years, like having the most titles, which right now is standing at 2, and they're sitting on maybe the third one.
Correct.
That's not something to, I guess, like
It's not.
put aside.
But what's the thing they've always
But
been
there should
looking
be
for?
more. Yeah, it's Champions League. Man.
Exactly.
That's the one thing they don't have.
That's what they don't have,
Oh.
and they'll never have.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Moving
like,
forward,
well,
though, something that will also never happen is a team with an unbeaten run still staying unbeaten when they play Chelsea, because Newcastle were on a four match, I guess like 4-match losing streak. They hadn't won in 4 matches. They go to Chelsea. Well, they play Chelsea and then they win, and it was a 94th minute strike by Isaac Hayden, and who was it that said it? I think it was it was probably some of the match comments that had to do with we were talking off air a little bit about Roy Keane and how he is a lunatic, but he makes for good listening because he just says whatever he wants. But he was making some points about, how are people just overlooking the fact that Lampard is struggling right now? Like all of a sudden, yes, he had the problems that he had, but it doesn't excuse him from a result like this. Losing away to Newcastle with the talent you have in your squad, you should have put that game away, and especially to like lose concentration in the 94th minute. When the game is basically done and dusted, you're like, okay, fine, you take a draw. You just couldn't get it done today. But to take a L after that, what's up with Lampard now?
It's hard to knock on Lampard just because, again, this is his first season with Chelsea.
Right.
He's pretty much coaching kids at the moment because they're all extremely young for the most part, at least.
Mm-hmm.
He's I don't know, man. I think it's just the lack of experience that the team has itself. I don't really think it's his coaching, because we see what these coaches can do. When they're on the money, they're on the money. They can put a lot of things to bed.
I don't know, man, because he keeps playing Mason Mount, and he hasn't done much. I think he has 1 assist in like his last 14 games now.
That's the inexperience I'm talking about. I think he started hot, and the longevity
of what used to work isn't working anymore.
He's inconsistent now.
Mm-hmm.
He started off good, and then it's like watching Dortmund last season.
And there's a player that
up. Winter came
down. Yeah.
Down.
And there's a player that I also want to mention that my brother was talking about that, and I want to bring that up to you when we get to that point. But it's the inconsistencies in the Chelsea squad that are causing these issues, and again, the transfer ban has been lifted, so all that just could be. So our questions could be answered either this window or next window.
At least make some moves, but
I haven't heard anything. I don't know if you guys have,
I
but I
haven't
haven't
heard
heard any
anything at all.
rumors for people.
Anything at all.
I've been hearing
Chelsea,
players
except
leave.
for maybe Sancho.
Players leave.
No,
when
not
I
anymore.
come in.
Our Sancho's staying. He said he officially wants to stay at Borussia.
Wants to leave with
Haaland there, yeah,
made
for
it
real.
over, but
Oh man, Ross Barkley, Batshuayi, Emerson. I'm not sure if maybe.
I was even talking to Palacios, Brazil, and Fernando, who are Chelsea fans.
They do exist. Chelsea fans do exist.
They're out there
outside
somewhere.
of the podcast.
And even they've said that their main issue right now is lacking another solid striker. Because Tammy's great and all, but
he struggles, especially against lower. Like it's proven, at least stats wise, when the competition's there, he can step up. But against these like smaller, I guess bottom half. I don't want to call them smaller. These bottom half teams, he just doesn't show up sometimes. And this was another clear example because he struggled. He just wasn't clicking with anybody. Batshuayi was thrown in, and like.
What's Batshuayi gonna do? Honestly, let's be real. He's never done much for Chelsea.
Yeah.
He's been a good low knee player and a good
has.
super sub, but not on Chelsea.
Yeah, he has. So magically, one thing I do want to highlight to give them credit because I don't want to get all the Chelsea haters on me so fast. The fact that they've been kind of wavering, it's still good enough that they're they're still in fourth.
I know,
Well,
and that's
it's not
they're
good
still in
enough.
fourth.
Is that everybody underneath them
Has
been doing either
worse.
good?
Yeah.
So they kept them there. If Spurs, if Man U, if who's next, Wolves were doing a little bit better, they would have been taken out of fourth place.
But I think they still have maybe 5 or 6 points.
Yeah, they got a decent gap. They're
United.
10 points ahead of Arsenal, and we're 5 points, I believe, behind United.
5 points ahead. So Chelsea 5 points ahead of United, 39 to 34. And then Arsenal have 29. So, yeah, Chelsea have 10 points on Arsenal.
That's the only way I know the table.
Well, we already mentioned Burnley and Leicester really quick. Southampton, Wolves, they're up 2-0. Traore putting in 2 assists. Our boy Jimmy getting in.
Yeah.
And that was probably the match of the weekend, I would think.
I didn't watch it, unfortunately. Should have watched it.
The biggest game, arguably, and we have to talk about it, even though I was trying to avoid talking about it. And I'm glad he's not here today because I think it's a pattern because whenever they do well, he doesn't show up, right?
Yeah.
And then whenever they
he's missed every single time they've won or
A big
accomplished
game.
something. Yeah.
Yeah.
They Edgar doesn't show up.
Yeah.
I think Eddie has been here for 1 or 2.
Yeah.
But Edgar specifically because he's the biggest troll of them all, out of all of us, or a smug. He's never been here. So for the last Man U game that you guys had, we guys tied. I think he wasn't here when they won the Champions League. Right after he did not show up. I think he celebrated too hard. So
He
stuff
probably
like
did.
that, he always misses.
For Liverpool, I told these guys, I was like, as soon as we saw the replay and it was Van Dijk, who jumped over Maguire, I was like, watch, bro, they're gonna meme the hell out of this right now. And
And
as soon as they said
80
that,
mil with Maguire
yeah, they
standing
had
over.
80 mil Maguire, bro. Oh my god.
Yeah, they were phenomenal. But you can start just from the lineup.
Mm.
Start there. With
Yeah,
all these lineup.
Yeah,
we
all these
discussed it in the
lineup.
car when we were driving to the bar. We
Yeah,
watched
like,
the
what the
game,
hell's
and it was
going
like,
on,
why do you
man?
throw? Who was it? Shaw
Luke Shaw as
as
the
a left wing.
And even not even the lineup. Like, why do you choose Maguire as the captain? That was my main
That
thing
was a
going
little
into the
odd, too.
game.
I was gonna ask you that question when you were interviewing the coach,
Yes,
and I was gonna ask you both the question, but it just never came up. But yeah, why Maguire? Why Maguire?
I don't know,
Coach
man.
Over there,
captain
I would have
De
the
Gea.
hair hands
Apparently,
down.
in some pressers, he was saying that he's shown leadership qualities. Like he's shown that he can control the dressing room and whatnot. And maybe it was probably a personal call that Solskjaer made, but I was a bit confused on that because yes, picking Rashford, it seemed something logical because he was on hot form. He was demanding that the club actually perform better because if they do better, he does better. And that's the way that they were like, syncing together, scoring goals, winning games, putting it away. Once he got injured, honestly, it was almost, I thought he would maybe go back to De Gea probably. Or maybe it would go to someone who's been serving longer. Because this is someone who just got onto the team. Like and for me, at least, I always believe like the captain should be whoever's been with the club longest. Like this is a person who understands what the club is for. And yes, of course, they have to have some sort of leadership qualities, which maybe those people who've been there the longest won't have. But I was very confused at the Maguire call, just as much as you guys. I was like, that seems just like very odd. Like we just bought this guy. He has so much pressure on his back for his price tag. They haven't been keeping clean sheets as regularly as they should, and I've pointed that out already when I gave him that D rating, which was you guys are like, damn, that's harsh. But like honestly, right now he just got. I have to be honest. He got bullied by Van Dijk on that header.
I'll say on the stream he got mossed. For all my local NFL fans, you know what that means.
He got mossed. But after that, I mean, the Martial miss, that one had me.
So that's where I wanted to, kind of bring up what Erik mentioned, and we kind of got into this conversation a bit. It was during halftime, so we didn't get that part on the stream. But Martial, I think he's a class player.
He is a class player
at times.
Yeah, at times.
And that's what's scary. Like this, and we've all seen the glimpses of brilliance that he has, but it's so inconsistent. Where on any other day, who would have put that goal behind Alisson?
Yeah.
After he got through the defenders, I think Trent and Gomez.
Yeah, he went past Trent and Gomez.
Beautifully, a beautiful
And he was good.
play, and then he rocketed it. It's like that to me was like, Martial, this is your moment to shine when Rashford's not there. Where you're down 1 goal away at Liverpool, and Liverpool are about to win the Premier League, and you scuff it. Is it a mentality thing? Is it just?
I don't know.
an
Honestly,
attribute of
I don't
his?
want to make it sound like I'm hating on Martial because I'm a Martial fan. Like I really like
Respect the
Anthony
guy, man.
Martial, and there have been plays and there are finishes that like damn, they're class. But he does a lot, and I say this to my younger brother when we watch games together. He does this thing that I'm like, why? Like, he knows he's about to mess up. He messes up, and he goes like, he like puts his hands up like this. He's like, oh, he's like looking up to the sky, like if some like superior power just like tripped up his leg or something or pulled his shoelace. And it's like, no, it wasn't anyone else. It was you. Like you messed up. Like yeah, like you just missed that opportunity. And there was a clip now that's been circulating of Gary Neville in the commentator's booth, and he lost his shit, and then he had to very quickly like get back on the mic to keep commentating the game. And dude, like I don't know. I think it could be a mentality thing. I don't know if it's like nerves or if he's anxious or if maybe like the weight of not having Rashford there. Maybe I'll give a little bit of credit to playing away at Anfield. That could also be a factor. We've already confirmed, or at least myself, I've already confirmed that the atmosphere is a non-existent, a non-factor because that's fake. Martial, what are you doing, my man? Like slot it in, like cool, calm, and collected. Cool as a cucumber, like we tell our Pro Cup striker. Like, come on, like just put it in the back of the net.
You guys had chances.
Well, we did. We had
one
a
in front
few.
of sadly, you were this inch away from
Inches,
actually putting it away. But you guys had chances, but you don't take advantage of those chances.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest issue you have. You might not have that many, and because of that, you have to take
Right,
every
right on
single
that
one of them.
pyramid, I looked at Marco. I was like, that was it right there.
Yeah,
Like, that's
and
what the
Fred,
soccer.
too.
I was like, that's what the soccer gods were giving United because they were looking good. It's like when you do well, it's like that belief that like the soccer gods looking down on you. They're
Yeah.
gonna give you one chance, but you have to put it away.
Yep.
And if you don't do it, then that's it. Like your fate is sealed. You're
Yeah.
gonna lose that game.
Yeah,
I
and
was like, Marco, that was it, boy.
but second half, you guys like first half. I'll give it to Liverpool. That was their game. That was their. That was they put it.
after the goal. It
Yeah.
was curtains, man.
But second half, United woke up. When Mata came in, he
changed it,
the
yeah.
game up a lot. Did Greenwood come in?
Greenwood also,
Greenwood
they came
came in.
together.
Yeah, so it looked a lot better. But what really caught me, what really surprised me was the Alisson assist. How is nobody looking at Salah?
I don't know, man. And the thing is, one thing I told Marco and Ricky was because they cut the camera and they showed De Gea about to run up,
And he's like,
and then he like
no.
suddenly stopped. I'm like
They
Marco,
told him
what
to
the
stay back.
I was like, bro, Marco, what the hell's going on? Like, just stay back. Like, the game's not over yet. Like, I get it if
It's like
maybe
a minute or two left, I think it
yeah,
was.
like I get it if they were like maybe like 92 with 50 seconds,
Yeah.
and then you got that corner. Fine, leave it, whatever. If you lose 1-0, you lose 2-0, you still lost, but at least you like gave it a shot. But the fact that he did that and he was out of position, that threw everybody off. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. If De Gea had already chosen to come up himself, all right, fine, let him do it. Like, commit to it.
Then one time we would drop back.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
someone would have dropped
That's
back.
true.
But since he stayed back, everyone was like, okay, he's back there. But he didn't go all the way. He was like about when Salah had already crossed the halfway line. De Gea was like still outside of his 18. Like he hadn't even gotten back to the box yet. And it
And
was
credit
over
to
there.
Salah, though. Credit
Yeah.
to Salah, man. The way he
We
fought
had,
off.
I had a little glimpse of hope because Dan James caught up because he has the pace, but he's not built, man. He's a small kid. He's a small kid, and some people were saying like he should have Valverde it. And,
I was
and
about
taken
to
him
say
out.
that. He should have done
He
that.
should have done it Valverde then taken out. But like the thing is that if you
What-
do it
what
Valverde,
for?
what for? It's 1-0 anyway. Like
Yeah.
it's not worth
Yeah.
it. Get a red card at that moment and then be suspended and then you're even in a bigger hole. Like I possibly in his mind, like I respect the fact that he didn't go in for the challenge, but it was kind of upsetting that he
Yeah,
was
if
kind
you-
of like he was shrugged off and then
If you were
fucking
one up,
Salah.
and this was the last play, and that's the one to do it. But
It's crazy how Salah scores that fucking goal with all the balance and composure any striker would need, or winger in this case would need to score that goal. He had it in that moment, but he missed a sitter.
Yeah, he missed so much. He had like the
And that was
He had the
what-
absolute
you jinxed
worst
it. You
game,
jinxed
bro.
it. You jinxed it
I did.
when you commented on the stream. Mrs. Salah.
Oh yeah, miss Salah.
And then once
yeah.
Salah scored, everyone's like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
Diego said it.
bro.
Diego said it.
man, and for it to be his first goal against Man United,
Yeah, he said it. Well, Salah said it, bro. The reason why they didn't win last time is because he was injured.
That's fucking stupid. Well, I have to take that. I can't say anything else. We're going to take a quick break right now because we want to get it to some of our listeners and followers on our halftime live debate. And it's going to be controversial, man. Is it Liverpool's year? Yes or no? We're switching over to Instagram, and then we'll be back for the second half of the episode.
See you there.
OT, never much love when we go OT.
All right, Benchwarmers, we are joined for the second half of this episode tonight by Ricky the Pundit Mendez.
What up, Ricky Bose?
What up? What up?
My man just came in.
Ricky Rose.
He walked in like
I like it.
like he was lost. Like, he was like, "What's up, guys?"
I wasn't sure if you guys were still recording.
He's walked
so-
into the studio like, what's going on? Am I at the right spot?
Am I on time?
I didn't want to interrupt your diligence.
like Marco does.
Sorry.
Yeah, that, I
I
didn't want
dropped
to
the
take his
Diego
title,
twice.
you know.
I tried to Diego twice before we started recording again.
Yo,
I know. He hasn't
I've
anything-
been-
he hasn't
I've
anything
been-
crazy.
he's been so careful. If you
I
notice in the first half, he was saying very little, bro. He was mad quiet. He was
I don't want to be
mad
the first
quiet.
one, even though I know I'm gonna be the first one.
Ricky, it's good that you're here, man, because actually we're going to go move on to the next topic, which is the Coaches Convention, United Soccer Coaches Convention this weekend. And just for anyone who's watching right now, yes, there are more of us. And that's actually some of the people that we interviewed. It's a running joke here that we asked for 5 seconds of silence so that we can fix the audio.
For the fallen ones. Oh.
But honestly, like I know I didn't say anything to you guys, but I did that because we're a team of 5 here, so like for each of us while we record, I would count it off, and then I'd be like for the forgotten
Oh,
ones,
like
for
a
my homies,
paying homage.
like pouring one out for my homies,
Ah.
for Erik and for
That
everybody
was
that were
cool.
here. That was
Very
pretty
cool.
sweet. Anyway, we
Thanks,
met
man.
a lot of cool
Thank you.
people, and I wanna open the floor so that we can talk a little bit about, because there's a lot of people that we want to thank, that we want to shout out. There's something that I want to test right now with one of the one of the notebooks that we got, because I'm just so curious. We'll see how that goes. But
I'm scared now.
a big shout out, first of all, Ricky, to Teqball, correct?
Just close your
Correct. That
legs.
is correct. Thank you, Teqball, for all your help with getting us the passes for the convention. Special thanks to Phil, who helped us out throughout the entire thing.
Big shout for Phil Fitzgerald. Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you very much for coming in clutch for us. We're very happy and excited to be able to attend. And I want to do a few name drops right now
Absolutely.
for the Teqball team.
Snitch.
So I want to shout
Snide?
out not just Phil, but I want to shout out Craig. I'd like to shout out Gavin. Andy was there as well. The 2 freestylers that were with Teqball, Frankie and Andres.
Yes.
And I do remember that Luca was there with them too. And I forget who else.
I'm sure you do.
I forget who else. There was one other name. Steven.
Oh, Steven.
Steven,
Yes.
Steven Marquez as
Steven,
well.
yes.
So shout out to all of you. Thank you for being receptive to us and allowing us to get a lot of cool footage.
Very welcoming.
for
for
your
very awesome.
tournament.
Wait, you said Phil or Phyllis?
Definitely did not say the second option. It was Phil. Thank you.
That was
Didn't
it was
work.
bad. It was bad. It was bad. It was too bad. It was too bad.
Yeah, you got the first card
I'm
in the
surprised.
history of Benchwarmers.
It suits.
Yeah.
So Eric's thing is whenever he plays, he just has really bad luck with getting carded, and
I was good this last season.
Yeah.
But we'll see this new season coming
I
up.
we'll
don't
see
know.
this new season.
I don't
coming up.
know. Pro clubs, you still get carded for no reason.
Oh yeah, you do.
You're in the game hasty, man.
So amongst us, amongst the Benchwarmers, we do have our own pro club team. We started last year in FIFA 19, sorry, and we continued now in FIFA 20, which has been a bit difficult because our objective has always been to win Division 1, and it's been worse this year. So. And Erik literally runs into players, and then the game stops. And he's like, "Okay, what now?" And he just gets a
You're
yellow
talking
card.
about FIFA 20,
Yeah.
the video game,
Yeah,
or in
the
real
game.
life, because he does that also.
He does it also too. Yeah, he does it also.
Yeah, I was thinking about the other day. It happened to us too.
Oh, he does it also. But like Erik had mentioned, we are trying and we are going to put together a team for the spring, and we're gonna see. We're gonna try to get off the bench ourselves. We're still bench warmers, but you have to get a bit active. It's still cold. It's still pretty cold. Jersey weather, as people know, is very up and down and bipolar almost, because it's 60s and then the next day is 30s, and the next day is snowing.
Yeah.
It's hot and
And it
it's
still goes
cold.
away.
It's
Right after,
yeah,
and it still goes away right away.
after.
Sorry, excuse me.
So, another thing too, it was really interesting to get to the exhibition hall, and one of the main things that I do want to go to first before we, mention some people that we talked to, there was this really cool podcast row that we had seen for the first time, and it was an area where all of the podcasts that were invited to be part of the convention were there, and we met some really, really cool people. We were able to take the donated cleats over to Soccer Chat. So right now, this is the moment where I want to shout out and say a big thank you to Sean and Nick for spending time and speaking to us and giving us a nice clip. Some very insightful words that we'll be uploading too. Very inspiring. I don't know if you guys felt that way, but he really hit it. He really hit it off. So that was pretty cool. We got to spend some time with these guys.
And
Wait! Before you move on, I also want to shout out to Jacob and North Plainfield High School, who were the ones that donated some
yes,
of the
of
cleats.
course.
So shout
Yes.
out to them for that.
Thank you for helping us out, Erik. You were saying?
Yeah, anything inspirational that you can, just.
I
share.
don't want to reveal too much.
Yeah.
Because the video is actually pretty cool. But his quote was, in a world of starters, be finishers.
Ooh.
You
I
may
like
be a
that.
bench warmer. You may be there. You may not begin the game. You may not start the game. But make sure that when you're called upon from the bench, you can finish it off.
I like that.
So in the world of starters and finishers.
And he said, "This is my quote." Like,
Yeah.
he literally like you like this is from me.
I like
This is
that.
So
mine.
What's
in
his
the world of
name? What's his
starters, Sean Soderling, if I'm
Alright.
pronouncing that
In the
correctly.
world of
Sean.
finishers. No, wait, was it?
In a world of starters,
In the world of starters.
be finishers.
Be
Key finishers.
Sean,
Sean,
2020.
2020. Eric, today.
Wow.
You steal your quote already. Wow,
So-
that deserves another yellow, but I already gave him one, so I don't want to give him a red and have him kick us
Wait.
off.
Plagiarism
warning,
to
bro.
the
You're gonna get
max,
talking to
yo.
for that.
Plagiarism to the
I
max.
quoted you. And then I quoted myself.
Oh, then that's referencing, I guess.
Eric today. A big shout out to these guys. We got a few cool stickers. We're gonna put some up later. The Cooligans who spent some time. We do want to say that probably Marco is going to send Alexis a 23andMe after that. So
I was gonna
Yes.
say that.
so
You will
if
be
you
getting
receive
one.
any
Hermano?
mysterious you receive any mysterious packages, it's not a bomb or anything. It's not one of those package bombs. It's a 23andMe kit.
My
to get some
bio
saliva.
dad does not believe that I fought my lost brother.
Yo, I saw
brother.
that video, bro. I was like, yo, I could see it. I saw it laughing, man. That's fucking good, man. That's a good
I
one.
don't know if it's a Cuban in me or the Guatemalan in him.
Oh, he's Guatemalan?
No, he's Cuban.
Oh.
That's why I said the Cuban in me or
Oh, the Guatemalan.
or the
Okay,
one in him.
okay.
No, maybe Alexis, maybe you're
Guatemalan, bro. They just lied to you.
3% Guatemalan, and there's the tie right there.
That's
But thank you to both of you. Shout you out, Christian and Alexis, for spending some time chatting with us, taking a picture, letting us post on our story. I know people really enjoyed that. We definitely enjoyed speaking to you guys, so it was really sweet. And moving on to the exhibition hall, there's a lot of people that we spoke to, shouting out some of the companies and some of the brands that we were able to do one-on-ones with, like Forge, not 4G. So there's a
the
company-
connection was strong, so you know.
Wait, who's
Actually, we
that
have-
4G?
I said because it's spelled
Okay, I can see that.
4G, right?
No, I can't. It's all capital.
No.
It's all capital.
Wait. To my defense, I had never seen their actual logo. I had only seen their Instagram handle. So it's all together. So I'm like, is it Forge Athletics or is it 4G Athletics?
Wait, did you actually go up there and say 4G?
No, but
No,
the
no,
second
no.
time around
Nah.
we did. We did. Actually, Diego approached them and was like, "All right, we have this debate, and you have to clarify."
Yeah.
They
Oh,
were
yeah,
legit.
that's
They were
right.
like packed up, carrying everything out and everything. And we pulled them aside. We're like, we need to find out.
Forge or 4G?
Yeah, no,
and
but-
then he's like, no, it's pronounced
Forge.
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 Yeah, like a forge.
Like a
you make
Ford?
something.
The G?
Forge.
Oh my god.
This is worse.
Good
No,
thing
but
I wasn't there. Good thing I wasn't
Big
there.
shout out to Justin.
Yes, big shout out to
So-
Justin. Thank you for dropping everything because you were all like loaded up. You had all this stuff, and we really wanted to give you one of our teas. We wanted to gift that to you for spending some time chatting with us. Also to So5, shout out to So5. We spoke to some really interesting Newcastle fan, Devin.
Oh, good weekend for
Yeah.
them.
So yeah,
We
we didn't
actually-
catch him after
It
the
was.
match.
It sucked. Yeah.
he
it
left. He had left for the day, and we were kind of like upset about that.
did. Like,
But if
we-
you are listening or watching this, Devin, we wanted to dap you up and give you the congratulations for that win.
want to go
because-
celebrate with them.
Yeah, whenever Chelsea lose, we all celebrate.
Yeah.
You know? It's great.
Which is funny because we showed up and the person that was there was a Chelsea fan.
Yeah, it was a Chelsea fan. Yeah, it was really funny. Yannick and Eddie, shout out to them as well because we spoke to them. Tilo also, who we were talking to for a pretty long while, and it was really fun to be talking to them. So
Absolutely.
shout out to So5, and they have a really cool event coming up, which we would invite everyone to go to. Their La Liga zone, and if you want to talk a little bit about that and what they're going to
Yeah.
be doing.
So they're having this event at several of their locations. They're all over. They have locations in Maryland, Brooklyn, New Jersey, and then New York and some other states. I can't remember all of them. But anyway, they're doing this event with La Liga, and actually they're gonna be hosting 5-a-side tournaments for that day, and then some other activities like skill challenges and stuff like that. And they're also bringing the actual trophy and showcasing it, so you could take a picture and stuff.
Can we make our own team?
Yeah, I think so, right?
I may.
believe so.
I can.
I mean, obviously, I'm sure you have to register and stuff. We'll drop some details as more information comes about. But yeah,
Well, yeah,
we
we can
get
some-
Benchwarmers team. Not us, of course, because no. But we'll get. I can get some.
I can still hold the camera. It's
You
okay.
get some killers,
I can get some
Yeah. We can try to make to Jersey one.
but you can't steal the trophy though. You can't steal it because we know you're now a Real Madrid fan for the rest of the season since you threw in the towel for Arsenal. You can't steal the trophy, so don't even think about it. That's why immediately
Actually,
his like
look,
the
yeah,
gears were
exactly.
clicking.
And
as
look,
you were
look,
turning.
in Eric's defense, the trophy would look really nice right here.
It would. I mean, look at the Teqball. Look at the
Exactly,
trophy.
yeah.
Shout out to So5 and what they're doing. A few other people that we met during the Teqball tournament. There was PS90. So Tristan, I believe it's pronounced Studeville. I'm gonna go on a limb there and say that way. But she runs a very, I would say, very powerful soccer camp for girls. It's called Soccer Girl Probs, and
I like that.
they're having one in Long Island pretty soon. So shout out to her and to Donnie as well, who we met. They were really friendly. They were super cool. She was being like totally clutch with keeping score and stuff, and she also played in the tournament, so it was pretty awesome. And also to Cornfed Coaching, we talked to Jack and John from Cornfed Coaching. They have a pretty interesting outfit over in Iowa, and the way they were making the analogy, and we have the interview that we're going to put up as well. They responded to the bench warmer question as, we see Iowa as a bench warmer in the soccer world. Like no one thinks of Iowa when soccer comes up in the conversation, and they want to be able to do that and bring them up. So that's why we're shouting them out. Cornfed Coaching, if you like to go check them out, give them a follow. They were really cool with us. They had some pretty
You
cool
would've did good
Teqball
with
tequila shirts.
Because you're corny as hell.
Wow.
Yo, where's that
Wow.
orange card? The orange card. That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a
You
good
know-
one. Yeah.
But when he's
The
like,
orange
when-
one is like for good behavior or
Yeah,
for
yeah,
fair
yeah.
play or
Yeah,
whatever.
for fair play.
Thank you.
Hold on.
but it was funny because my reaction when he said that I was like the bench warmer in the soccer world, I said, you know what, like, I never looked at it that way. So we told him, I told him like, Iowa, I owe you a shout.
I hate you so much, man. I hate you.
I was trying to set that up. Whatever. You might want to edit this one out.
Stay again. It's so bad.
Cornfed, if you're looking for somebody else, here you go.
I know it's a 2-man team, but if you take one more,
Please take them.
That's why I was behind the camera most of the time. This is why.
All right, so we're gonna do this, right? All right. So can you take off the drum set? We're gonna bring the little.
Take off my what? Oh. Okay.
Which can we talking about,
Give me a second,
bro?
let me take the toe ball.
POV now all of a sudden?
Teqball off.
What are we
Okay,
doing?
so we met and we spoke to very briefly as everyone was cleaning.
Oh, I know what you're going to
Everyone
do.
was cleaning up the exhibition hall because people wanted to just go. People wanted to just leave. We found this really cool company called Duktig Brand. I believe that's how it's pronounced. I looked it up, so hopefully it's correct.
Yes, it's supposed to be a Swedish word for.
Being good at something.
That's right.
Duktig. So this is.
I'm no tuk-tuk.
I'm anti-ductic.
Anti-Duktig. So here's the really baller notebooks. It's matte black, which I really appreciated, and they have printed.
Oh,
They
I
have
like
printed pictures on
that.
them.
Show it to the camera.
So we're gonna show it to the camera. We can put up a photo of it later in case it's too far away. But the whole point is for them to be used for coaches to write their notes and everything. And so they've been around for a few years now, and it's a women-led company led by 2 women. And I think we met with
Tiffany is the
Tiffany
one.
Weimer.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Tiffany. Thank you very much for still being there, not having everything put away because we saw empty tables left and right. And so the reason why we have this little bowl is because apparently
Oh, go ahead.
Somebody's thirsty.
apparently these
No,
notebooks,
These notebooks, they are waterproof.
because the pages are made out of stone paper.
So that's smart. In a rainy game, you gotta take notes. Something's gonna happen. You gotta write it down, and
Yeah.
that's smart. I like that.
You should
Respect.
get one of those because when your team is getting goals rained on,
Wait, are you not playing this team anymore? Is that what I'm gathering
He's
from this
himself.
conversation?
I didn't play. I didn't play with you last season, so that's your team.
Please.
This
new
new
season
season
This
is
is your own
different.
team and you're talking shit.
No.
Man, that's crazy.
Last season, I didn't play in his team, so
Oh my god.
you know.
I
What
don't
I'm
know
saying?
if it
so-
was my team, but
All right, so Eric, you want to do the honors
Yeah.
and dunk it in there? So we're gonna leave it. we're gonna leave it in there for a while. We're gonna see how it holds up. Maybe if we do half, I guess.
I really like the matte black finish.
Yeah, the matte black is nice. I have 2 more
It's like
in case this goes horribly wrong. We're not trying to bash on the product. We're actually proving the fact that it's waterproof
Quality
and it's pretty
product.
cool.
This is part of
Quality
the TV Guys Network.
I think that was probably one of the better or best experiences that we've had. I also want to shout out Todd Connors. That's the bar that we went to in the morning to watch the game. So there's like a very lively and like small group of United fans that congregate there for the matches apparently. And they were telling us to go to this other place that apparently had Liverpool fans. And I was like, "There's no way I'm going in there.
I wouldn't either.
There's no way I would go there. I would not." But shout out to Todd Connors. The food was great. Marco enjoyed it. He gave it, I think it was 9 out of 10.
Oh.
Was it
8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, 8 because he got food.
Just
No,
come on,
eight for
I
the coffee.
didn't say 8, 9,
No,
10.
there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. There's a
It
reason
makes
for it.
sense when you don't think about it.
He did say 8, 9, 10. I was like 8, 9,
Hey,
10.
explain to you how is that rated?
I'm gonna let you
for-
explain. I'm not gonna think you
no,
out.
No, I want
You
you to
say it.
explain it. You rated it. You explained it.
I remember because the thing is that Diego explained it so well.
But this is
I
your
need-
logical
I need-
thinking.
I
So
need-
I want to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Go ahead, 8,
I
9,
can't
10.
remember what it was. I honestly do not remember.
Hey,
I deserve the yellow. Please explain the.
Yeah,
8,
he
9, 10.
said 8, 9, 10 because 8 once he got coffee, 9 once he got food, and then 10
The beer.
because he got a beer. That was his experience. 8, 9, 10.
I think it was the food and the coffee were like it was 8 the food, 9 the coffee. And
Oh
then
yes,
10 the beer.
yes, and then 10
So it's very easy to satisfy Marco in that case. So any restaurant out there, now you know.
The food was actually very
Yeah,
good.
we
so
got
Nah,
some
it
pretty
was
good,
good, it was good.
Eggs Benedict. It was awesome actually, and the people there, they were pretty cool. We spoke to the last person that I do want to shout out right now, Erik, who is a coach over at Sheridan College. He's a goalie coach,
Oh,
a
cool.
goalie assistant coach, and then he also does U17. He does some high school. He coaches the women's team, so he does his work. He plies his trade over in Toronto. So that was the first Torontite?
Canadian.
Someone from
Yeah.
Toronto!
Yeah.
Someone from Toronto, come on! You're gonna give me yellow for that?
Toronto. What the hell's that?
I don't know.
I swear, I think
Is
they
it
tater
people
tot
from
or
New
something
York?
like that. I don't know.
What?
People from New York are called New Yorkers.
Okay.
What do you call people from Toronto?
I don't know.
Alright, so if none of you know, yellow toe?
Well, no. If you don't know why you tried, say call him Canadian.
Because that's
It's
too
easier.
generic. No,
It's
it's
true,
not
it is
Toronto.
What's easier than trying to figure out?
What do you call people from Wisconsin?
I'm not answering because you're gonna give me yellow.
But
yellow.
that's a state.
That's a state, man. I'm talking about
Yeah,
a
you gotta be
specific
a
city.
New York is a state. You call them New Yorkers.
No, New York is a city.
Yeah,
You don't call someone in Albany a New Yorker. You call New York City a New
Where do
York.
you come from? Someone from Albany.
Albanians.
That's a red. That's a 2 yellows, bro. 2 yellows. This yellow red system is gonna go bad really quickly.
As I was saying, I'm like, fuck, I got a yellow.
It's like the worst thing we could have brought into the studio, man. This yellow red cards, man. It's
I know
sealed
he's
so
loving
many-
it. He's loving it right now. Bro.
Yo, we should
I'm not giving you guys any more.
we should have a
Oh, I got it right. What's good?
Torontonian.
Yo, Bart, bro. Look at this right here.
Bart,
What do you call someone from Toronto? This is from urbantoronto.ca. So it's a Canadian website, guys. Okay? A person from Toronto is known as
California,
a
too.
Torontonian. That's what I said. I said Torontonian or
Torontite.
Torontite.
It sounds like a
You,
dinosaur.
Torontite, yeah, that
Sorry,
sounds
I
like
apologize for anybody from Toronto, but it sounds like a Toronto.
No, it sounds like a marsh or something.
Yeah, like a dinosaur, like a name of a dinosaur.
And like, for example, according to Wikipedia,
We'll give it to you. We'll give it to you. We'll
the city.
rescind, Bart.
Thank you, thank you,
Rescind
thank you.
your
Gracias,
yellow card.
gracias.
You have to go like this. You have to go like. There you go.
Rescind
Thank
it.
you very much. I got.
What do you
I
call
got that
people from Albany? I want my shit revoked too.
Not a billion.
Here it says people from Vancouver are known as Vancouverites. So I'm gonna
I was
actually
gonna say something else, but
Albanites? Albanites?
stop talking. I'm still gonna give you another one, man.
Well, man already got 2. You should have gotten a red already.
Oh, you think it too? All right, we'll give you.
What? How'd I get two?
I gave you 1. Erik gave you 1.
When did you give me one? Oh, for the corn. Fuck.
Oh boy. So this is a website called alloveralbany.com, and it says What do you call someone from Albany, New York? And it says here the accepted term is Albanian.
Thank you.
Alright,
Thank
But
you.
some
To the
people
butt.
can't get on board with that because it causes confusion.
Of
with,
course,
with
with
the
the
country.
country. Thank you.
They
Thank
have
you.
no red card then? Shit. What's the proper pronunciation before we get too distracted and too outside of this? whole thing?
Torontonians and Albanians, apparently.
Yeah, Torontonian
Oh,
and Albanian.
I thought there was something. The butt meant that they called it a different name.
Like there's confusion when they say
Okay.
it.
All right. So
Listening,
You
listening.
should get
Yeah, I don't know.
a-
I think right now, I
you
think
should
was
get a-
listening.
I already got one. Why do I need another one?
Bro, they have-
I'm not collecting yellows.
Yeah, the demonym. So that's for people who are part of that city. In Wikipedia, it's also listed as Albanian or people from Albany. So now that we went on that tangent, which was pretty fun,
Completely off the rails. off the topic. I forgot where we were at.
we were talking actually about
The coach.
yeah, about the coach
Oh,
from
yeah.
Toronto, and you guys were like getting at me. Shout out to Erik, and he is also going to be down here for the Manhattan Cup. So that's going to be pretty cool. He's going to bring over his U17 team. That'll be very interesting. He was really cool. Shout out to you, Erik, for sitting down for a few minutes with us. We definitely appreciate that, and it'll go a long way. So hats off to that. I think that's really everything that wraps up the weekend. We didn't have any pizza because we respect the fact that we're from Jersey and we have New York. So no pizza. We got some wraps. That's what we ate. And I think that was really
Well, I
it.
had Philly
I had-
cheesesteak, but I had cheesesteak.
It wasn't
had a
called.
wrap.
It wasn't called Philly cheesesteak.
Well, it's called cheesesteak. My bad.
It
You're
was
right.
called
Yeah,
B-
Philly cheesesteak in
BMORE
Baltimore?
cheesesteak.
Yeah.
It wasn't called BMORE cheesesteak. It was just
Didn't we
cheesesteak.
also interview, or you interviewed, Brandy?
Yes,
Yes.
that was the last thing that I wanted to bring up, and it was definitely a very, I guess, lucky thing. You're gonna switch it. You're gonna flip it over.
I want to make sure that it gets.
Dissolves right
On
now
one
when you pick
side.
it up.
One thing I did want to mention last, and saving the best for last under that kind of mentality, is the fact that we got ran around by not run into. She corrected me. We were able to speak to Brandy Chastain, two-time Women's World Cup winner, Brandy Chastain,
Woo! Awesome,
and she
awesome.
was doing phenomenal on the Teqball tables during the tournament.
She didn't see the Benchwarmers fake stylers.
Yeah, we didn't have any fake stylers present, so
We were too busy behind the camera.
yeah, we were
Yeah,
taking
all
a lot of
us.
lot of footage.
There's a picture of me. Well, actually, all of us. You took pictures of all of us with the
I
camera. in
did.
hand.
They, nobody took pictures of me. That's messed up.
I saw a picture of Marco holding the microphone the opposite way, with
Yeah.
not plugged in. So that sums up, bro.
that it will eventually will become a meme.
So,
I know that for a fact.
If some interviews don't make it, you know, and don't look at me.
Please.
Nah, honestly, I deserve
I'm looking forward again.
a triple yellow for that one. I'm not gonna lie.
You got 2 yellows already?
Yeah, the second one. That was the second one. One was rescinded, and then the second one made a red. So
We're gonna think of a penalty for these cards.
Yeah, I was gonna suggest that.
Don't.
And then a
beans.
bigger penalty
No,
for
yeah.
accumulation of cards.
Who has the most cards at the end of the season?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that.
we're who says the most
Oh,
dumbest
thank
stuff.
you. Who gave this to you guys?
I picked them up from
VAR.
the VAR table, so
VAR gave it to us.
VAR gave it to us literally. So that's pretty.
No,
funny.
legit.
Legit, VAR gave it
It's they're called Pro. Shout out to Pro for the
That's
official yellow cards.
That's the.
That's the
professional
association.
referees, organization,
Organization.
and they're the
Yeah,
ones
make it pop off.
who they handle all of the refereeing, I guess, areas for
So
the U.S.
They train the referees and all that. So
Train them better. How about that?
for US only.
Train them better. How about that?
They actually had an interactive thing, which we unfortunately did miss, but they had an interactive thing where they were going to do a VAR review, like live. Like,
God,
they
I
had a
would have
bunch of,
loved.
like,
I would have
videos and stuff
loved
like
to
that.
see that and just
I
like.
told you if you would have gone, you would have very enjoyed this.
Yeah,
whole
you would
experience.
probably
It was
just stayed
so
there.
so nice. It
You
was
would've
so
stayed
cool.
there.
A
Still
quick
the
question
version.
though: was there anything that you guys missed? Because there was like so much going on.
Oh, a lot.
That was
We
one
missed
of
a
them.
lot.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a huge convention hall, and we were only there for
A day.
one full day.
But,
So
but that was going on for almost 3-4 days already.
yeah,
wow.
so there's so many sessions, like training sessions, just
Speeches,
talks,
workshops,
speeches. So we missed a whole
seminars.
bunch. But
Did you do what you wanted to do?
No, we didn't have time. Once we hit the floor, we hit it running, and we went to like everywhere we wanted to stop by and talk to, or
Yeah.
even just approach. We did it, but we ran out of time
Yeah.
because we stayed chit chatting. They were really cool. We ended up recording them,
Mhm.
having conversation. So it was just too hard to.
We would have
to
loved.
go.
I'm sure we would have loved
We
to have been there
tried.
for longer.
And we
Yeah.
tried. We kept on saying like, "Yo, we have enough time to go hit this," but like, no, let's go talk to these other people.
Yeah, we're
So
we're
it
managing
was
ourselves.
just
Two of the
too
things
much.
that I missed that I really wanted to do were the skills booth. So skills, the brand that makes.
SKLZ.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They were there.
they
Yo,
were
I
there.
have some of their stuff. I love their
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
man.
So
It's
they,
amazing.
they had like a big setup.
Yeah.
You could try it out. Do a few like
Ah.
exercises or whatever.
That'd be cool.
And then Rojo Targets, they were there. We missed them. So shout out to them as well. They sent us a message. So those two I would have loved to.
Yeah. I
Those
personally have some things from skills, and they have some awesome training equipment. I do want to try out the Rojo what?
Rojo Targets.
I want to try the thing. I've seen some of that. I went to the Instagram page, and they have pretty cool stuff there as well.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
awesome.
so that's
Well,
something
either
hopefully
way,
will work.
we look forward. We look forward to hopefully next year. They already had announced that it's going to be hosted in Anaheim, California, So-
June 6th to the 10th, I think.
January.
January,
January
sorry.
6th to the 10th in 2021. So that's going to be one of our goals for the upcoming year, and hopefully we can bring the whole bench together with us. That'd be pretty sweet. And
let this in the plane though.
the what?
Oh, you meant the cast. Okay. You gotta specify, bro.
Can we get another card?
I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it right now.
Eric looked at you like, "The fuck is he talking about?"
I'm looking at what are you talking about right now, dude? Like, okay.
Oh, shit.
Anyway.
I think that's
Wrap it up there. honestly.
yeah, man. That's a good way to wrap up the show. Again, we're really thankful, really grateful. Can we check this out actually?
Yeah, you have to write on it
You
too.
wanna, yeah, we're gonna write on it. We're gonna see how he looks.
I think it's honestly, I think we kind of overdid it with putting it in water. This was meant to get rained on. I get dunked in water.
But if
Nah,
we'll
that's
find out.
worse,
Listen,
if
listen,
it's
listen.
worse,
It
it's
said-
even better.
It said
Let
waterproof.
me just go like.
It said waterproof.
It's legit though. Look.
You want to?
as well.
I don't know.
Oh. All right. So zoom Marco there. It works.
It works.
It works.
Wow.
Props off. This is a pretty cool. I'm wet now, but this is a pretty cool little
Notebook.
notebook, man. This
The pages don't stick together. That's always
Yeah,
good.
That's the biggest thing.
The ink doesn't smear like the little field there.
yeah, that's
Probably
awesome,
the
man.
pen we'll probably have to
But
get.
yeah,
like,
that's a joke.
actually, I have the.
Awesome, dude.
I have one of their pens.
Oh,
Let's
that's
see-
right. That's
let's see if these pens work
the
for
secret
this.
pen.
So they gave you a pen that goes with the notebook, and you didn't want to give me that pen to use for the notebook.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. He's asking for it, bro.
No, 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 no,
just give it to him.
don't,
Give it to him. He
don't,
deserves it for that,
don't.
bro.
Oh
He
my
deserves
God,
it for that, bro.
I'm not gonna get Tarantonian right, and you're gonna call me for that.
That's a lot better. That's a lot better.
No, you're using a gel pen.
You gave me the pen.
Gel pen smears on regular paper, bro.
Alright, that's pretty cool. Alright, that's just a lot, man. No, it doesn't smell at all. That's awesome.
Wow.
That's
Shout
awesome.
out to Duk brand. It's not that we doubted it, it's because I was very curious and I wanted to prove it here on tonight's episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. All of our new followers, anyone who's here for the first time. Again, we are the Benchwarmers. My name is Diego, joined here by Erik, Ricky, Marco, and we also have Edgar, who's part of the team.
Edvar.
Sorry,
Edvar.
Edvar. Yeah, I always, we have to remind him that it's Edvar.
And Eddie.
Yes, and Eddie as well. So there's the Benchwarmers. This is what we do. This is what we talk about. We review the EPL. We talk about other leagues as well. But we wanted to keep it to the Premier League. There's a lot of stuff coming up also for MLS as well. So we're going to be chatting about that. And we just keep it alive. We keep the
it
banter
100, you
going
heard?
on. And we give each other yellow cards for saying dumb stuff
Stupid shit.
online, on live while we're recording. But thank you very much for giving us a try if you made it this far. And, we're going to see you on the next one. Right?
Yep.
So we are the Benchwarmers. This is the bench with a voice, where the bench is always warm. Peace.
Peace.